This is a video that I like to do, I want to do, I should do, but in this case, specific one, I must do. Because the Game Social released the new FAQ update for Warhammer Age of Sigmar 4th edition Skaventide, the 18th December 2024. And this is a massive update as well, because there are few maybe, but really quite important ones. So, remember that it's only about the update, so if you're interested about the previous FAQ, you can find the link in the description, as you can find the link about such Warhammer community articles that you can have a referral about. So let's go to see about such articles so that we know what it's about this FAQ, and then we go to see about the FAQs themselves so that we can analyze them. Let's start. As I said, this it's an important article so much that it's written also in the description, so a big update really, so pay attention about such thing. And we can find that the first thing that it's been updated, it's the spearhead balance, so it's not a problem. Sincerely, I don't play too much about spearhead, but I think that one, because it's one of the type of game about Age of Sigmar that I suggest both for the ones that start and the ones that like to play, because it's anyway a good way. And then it has been updated the season rules. So remember that it's not too much about the ones that are the rules general ones, but the season, the general handbook ones for the 24-25 one. So we can find that it's quite important because it's been updated the priority role, so that it has been made that it changed the way that the role of the priority interact with the underdog mechanic. So now when you try to take the double turn, your opponent count as the underdog for the rest of the battle, or until they take a double turn and make you the underdog. So this changes quite a lot the way that you can pay attention. This change is designed to help the mitigating the player going all in and nearly double, and then benefiting from the underdog bonus even though they likely have an advantage. So I think that I quite understand this thing, but they also update another part that it's the one that it's from Spearhead, where you can take a double turn without penalty if you are 6 or more victory point behind in the game. Not bad at all. This means you can still pick a battle tactic and your opponent doesn't automatically count as the underdog, which help give you a fighting chance to get back into the battle. Sincerely, I quite like this change about the rules. Sincerely, I quite appreciate a lot. There you can find the change about the Honor Guard, so that they expanded the Honor Guard system to give more options. So they introduced the Field Sergeant that allow you to select an infantry hero, remember infantry hero, as your honor guard, and give a 2+2 mob characteristic bonus to all friendly infantry unit wholly within 12 inch of this hero, infantry hero. And so it's really quite intriguing one. Okay, they associate mainly to the Iron Juice the first list, but sincerely I think that many army will benefit from this. There is also the Price Beast, so that allow you to pick a monster, ignoring the battle damaged ability, and earning a +1 to hit rolls for all their weapons, including those with the companion weapon ability. It's crazy, this one. This can be particularly powerful on some of the larger models, okay, but it's really quite amazing one, because a +1 and ignoring the maluses, it's quite a lot. Then there is another one that I find it even quite more intriguing, because there is the regiment forces rules that allow you to take an advantage of these new honor guard choices. So if your army contains more regiment troops than your opponent, so here it's depending by what you try, because it's not so certain that you'll have such bonus, even if personally, based on how I compose my booster, my armies, it's not a problem, because a lot of people try to make the mono drop, but I like to have another balance, so I prefer to separate quite a lot the regiment eventually, so not bad. You can pick a second honor guard ability to use, remember, on a unit in a regiment not led by your general, so it means that you can distribute them. This opens up a whole host of new army building opportunities, and I quite agree with this. So it's really quite impressive. Then we have some faction adjustments. So in addition to the updated season rules, every faction has received balance adjustment to level the playing field. There are summarized in the first page of the battle profile and rules update document that, as I said, we'll see quite soon. And I quite like because they are all there. So you don't have to go crazy and go to see all about the documents and so on. It's really quite specific where you can find the things that you need. So I perfectly like this thing. So a number of important heroes that aren't seen enough play, such as Talia Vedder, Lord Croak, and so on, have received some boost. They treated a bit of changing in the Caradon Overon, Fresh Eater Kurz, Blade of Corn, and Red Donate of Slaanesh to help this faction. And they're not bad, but also other ones received quite a lot of interesting part. And then they tweaked the regiment option to allow the vast majority of non-wizard and non-priest infantry heroes to be allowed to join regiment led by other heroes. This I quite appreciate, because there were some times that I had to take, for example, another detachment only to be able to play with a specific hero that it was not a mage or so. So I quite like this thing, so that I can condensate sometimes. Not bad. They changed a bit the characteristic, but remember that it's not a problem, because you don't find these rules and these points in the battletome. So it's a change that it's in some way for free, so they can change freely, and you don't have the battletome that they become obsolete in such a way. So I quite like these things. So for example, that they extended this privilege to a few monster heroes, including the Blonde Fisters, Runson, or Magadron, and so on. And really, there is quite a lot of things that has been changed, and I'm really going to see about this right now. So let's start to see about this battle profiles and rules audit of December 2024. And the first thing that I quite like is this battle score summary, because it really condenses quite a lot and make you see fast what has been changed, so that you know the idea, the concept that has been changed. Then you go to see about the details, but first you understand the details, so you understand why it has been changed something. I quite like this thing. So about the rules, it's updated the rules download to include all errata, glossary updates, and updated the Citadel terrain list. Okay, the path to glory ascension. Armies can now include heroes up to 350 points to allow use of all envies of apotheosis characters. This I quite appreciate, because I love to play with the envies apotheosis. Even if I don't like too much about the path to glory, I like to make them battle against each other. So I love, and I hope that this envies of apotheosis will become something that it will be official. So match play 1. I hope really. Then we had the season rules 24-25. So here the expansion of the rules, season rules that we can find for this second half of the season. So if you take a double turn, your opponent is the underdog for the rest of the battle, or until they take a double turn, as we have seen before. If you are losing by 6 or more victory point, do not suffer any penalty for taking a double turn. So you can pick tactic, the opponent doesn't automatically count as underdog. 2 new honor guard abilities, everything we've seen before, and players with more regiment than their opponent can use a honor guard ability on a unit in another regiment. So as we see, it's a perfect summary of the changes for this season. But it has also been summarized also the part little about the order, chaos, death, and destruction. So about the order summary, we find that it has been added the Ruination Chamber keyword to Jonas Reborn. The City of Sigmar, see the Fusing Mayor on Ogre Work Mark target ability now gives +1 to it for all attacks, not shooting attack. Tablia Vedra's lead from the front ability has been reworked. It now gives +1 to wound and a 5+ ward instead of the previous effect. The current overlord see the Scavester cover now gives a penalty of 1 to hit for all attacks, not just the shooting attacks. not bad. The Seraphon C Lord Coke now has a +1 to Unbind, and his Celestial Deliverance has been revoked to increase the range and make the damage more reliable. Sincerely, it's understandable because it's not so great mage compared to Nagash, being the oldest of mages. Okay, so understandable. The Reproductive Riders and Pterodon Riders now have a 2+ coherence range, so okay. About the chaos, we had that the Skaven C Lord Screech Vermin King is now a wizard 2, so increase the range of the Plague Furnace and Screaming Bell abilities to 13 inches instead of 6. I like because, okay, there is a bit of change about the battle itself, but it's not a problem because there are really few things. And really, we had the wizard too, that I don't think that someone will go crazy about this, because it's okay. It's one of the main mages, so nice. And the increase about the Plague Furnace, it's 13 inch, so it's scammer roll. Perfect, understandable, so nothing to say. Then we had the Blades of Corn that see the Bloodtide abilities can now be used once per phase instead of once per turn. It's a big change. Head units of large see the euphoric killers now affect the companion weapons. This is important. Then we had the Magotin of Nargo that see the Flesh Abundance now lets you pick either effect instead of always having to heal if the unit is damaged. This is nice. It's quite crazy as a really quite important change. Then we had the Black Drones and the Plus Boil Bright Road now have a 2+ coherence range, so I think that it's perfectly understandable, this one. It's quite similar about the Repeated Data, if you think about. Then we have about the Death Summary, so it has been changed the discorporate to any hero phase instead of a reaction, so it's important change, this. The Fresh Eater Curse see a added Address Lawyer subject ability to make it easier to generate noble deed points. I think that it was quite welcoming, this, really. Then Grand Justice Gourmet can now generate noble deed points when using the Delusion of Justice served abilities. I think that this it's something new, okay. And then we had the Ostia Boripe that changed the Goddess Harvester Bone Harvest ability to make it a bit easier to gain Bone Tide points. And we'll see how it is, because I have great expectation about this, and I like to play the Goddess Harvester. Then we have about the Destruction Summary, so that the Gloomspite Kids, the Loom Boss on Mangler Squid, Bite the Moon ability, now gives +1 to hit instead of +1 to wound. You have to decide which one you prefer, but sincerely I think that it's not bad. The Ogum of Tribes, monster can add 2 to Tumbling Charge rolls, and lowered the chanting value of 2 other players for the Everwinter players. Nice, I think. Then the Sons of Behemoth see the Gargant Charge now inflict D3 mortal damage instead of no longer, and it's no longer a rampage. So I think that it's nice. So it means that you can apply another rampage and having this effect anyway valid. The Beast Martian Maga Gargant gets +1 attack with their Mahir clubs, and 2+2 attacks on All Might Stomp and All Might Stomp weapons. So the Gargants gain quite a lot more attacks, I think, and it's due, I think, because there are few, so they're really quite important to have more attacks to balance them. And then we can go to see about the real rules changed. Some of these we have yet seen, because both in the article or the summary, but anyway, we have seizing the initiative. So if the player who went second in the previous battle round wins the priority roll and chooses to go first, their opponent is the underdog until the opponent does the same. If a player is behind by 6 or more victory points, they do not suffer any penalty taking 2 turns in a row. Their opponent is not the underdog for the rest of the battle, and they can use the Tactical Gambit ability to pick a battle tactic. Okay, I mean the summary was better in some way of description, but it's that one. Anyway, the Honor Guard, each player can use one of the following Honor Guard abilities in each battle. When using that ability, they must pick a unit in their general regiment to be the Honor Guard. Then have the Regiment Forces, so if a player has more regiment than the opponent, They can use a second different honor guard ability, but they must pick a unit that is in a different regiment that is not led by the general to be the honor guard for that ability. You cannot pick a unit in a regiment known to be an honor guard. This it's intriguing and legit, I think, restriction, so not bad. Then we can see the part about some other option that it's related about the honor guard, so option that we have as abilities. So we have once per battle deployment phase, special assignment. The care pick a friendly unit in, but not leading a regiment to be that regiment honor guard. You can pick a unit in reserve. Effect, pick one of the following weapon abilities: anti-infantry +1 to rend, anti-cavalry +1 to rend, anti-monster +1 to rend, anti-war machine +1 to rend, or anti-beast +1 to rend. So in any turn in which that honor guard charges, that unit will have the weapon ability that you picked. It's not bad, it's not particular intriguing. Then have the part about the bodyguard, that is the classical one usually. So pick a friend unit in, but not leading a regiment that to be that regiment honor guard. You can pick a unit in reserve. So subtract one from attack statistic of enemy unit melee weapons while they are in combat with the unit leading the regiment if both of the following are true. The regiment honor guard is wholly within 6 inches of the leader of that regiment. Neither that regiment honor guard nor the regiment leader charge this turn. A bit restrictable, but not bad. Priority target. So again, as usual, the same. And effect is that add 1 to hit roll and wound rolls for attack made by that honor guard unit that target the enemy general, or the enemy honor guard if it is in the enemy general regiment, if the target of that attack is within 12 inch. Also here, a classic one. Then we have two new ones, so that are Field Sergeant and the Press Beast that we have seen before. So Field Sergeant declare pick a friendly non-fly infantry hero, so has been added also not fly compared to the summary that we have seen before. In but not leading a regiment to be that regiment honor guard, you can pick a unit in reserve. Okay, add 2 as effect to the move characteristic of friendly non-fly infantry. Again, non-fly, another clarifying infantry unit while there are wholly within 12 inch of the honor guard. Sincerely, this I think that it will be one of the main chosen because I quite like, and making faster the army, I think that it's not bad at all. Then we have the part about the price beast, so pick a friendly non-unique monster. Also this one it's intriguing because it means that it can be only a general one, so not a named one. And the effect is that unit can ignore the effect of the battle damage ability. In addition, add 1 to the hit roll for combat attacks made by that honor guard. This ability affects the companion weapon. So this can be really quite price, sincerely, because I quite like these options. Then we have about the Spearhead updated summary. So we have about the Stormcast Titanus. Okay, as we've seen, it's a really summary we see than the detailed part. So anyway, the order summary is that the Stormcast Titanus Vigilant Brotherhood Shield of Azir now once per turn instead of once per battle. And I think that this is important as change. Cities of Sigmar Castellet Company, so the officer order changed to 1 per battle round. The current Overlord Skyhammer Task Force added the reinforcement to the Arcanaut Company and Skydraven. I think that it's not bad. The Lumitel Realm Lord Glittering Phalanx removed the facet of war from lighting reactions. Okay. The Idolin Tipkin, so Raid Hunt, so Isaran, so Scry Ritual of Creeping Mist changed to -1 to wound instead of cannot be shot. And I think that, okay, it's a decreasing power for the Idolin Tipkin, but I think that it's much better for the opponent, so not bad. Then we have the Chaos Summary, so Slave to Darkness Bloodwind Legion. Chaos Knights now set up in the second battle round. Okay, this can be problematic or not, to see. The Hedonists of Slanish Blitz of Druid Dream added the reinforcement to Slangor Bloodfiends. Bloodfield Bloods, sincerely I like. Then the Death Summary, Subak Gayward's Bloodcrave Hunt. The Ferrato Skeleton Legion ability. Now your combat phase instead of any combat phase. This it's a decrease of power, so as this it's quite to suffer, but okay. The destruction summary. So Gruspite gets bad moon Mad Bob. So once unit of Squig Hoppers is set up in the third battle round, Ogo Motrice talent below. One unit of Ogo Glutton up is set up in the third battle round. So both are the same. It's only about setting up. It can be problematic, I think, but and then we can go to see about the points. And about the point, I want to remember you that it's important to remember that these points are only here. So it's not a problem about changing the parts about the bottom. And I think that it's quite nice in such a way because they can change the point how many times they want without any problem about having the obsolescence of the bottom itself. So I quite like in such a way. As we can see, there's been quite a lot of changes. For example, the city of Sigmar, we can see that has been changed the part about the points, and they gain quite a lot because a lot of units seen a decrease on point, and has been changed the part about the eligibility of some of the models to be put in some regiment. So I quite like such thing. There are some things that has been brought up, but compared to the amount of unit that see a decrease on price, sincerely, I think that it's not a problem. Really. Also because there are really few increasing and for a small amount compared to the one that decrease even quite a lot. Also here the total skin see all decrease on point. The first layers a lot of decrease on points also here. The Idon Deepkin also here a few units maybe, but also those ones are not bad. The Caron Overdrone, also these ones see quite a lot. We have also a 14 decrease on point for the Endmin Master with the Digibus suite, so not bad in my opinion. Then we had the Luminate Lord that see both a decrease on point and increase on point. I think that anyway they gain something, so not bad. The Seraphon that see all the decrease on points, and I quite like about the Saurus All Blood on Carnosaur that 40 decrease on points, and also the Scar Veteran. So it's quite important because I like to play them, so having saved 40 points for them, not bad. Also the Skin Oracle on Trogodon, it's not bad. The Skin Stasia, it's quite useful, so the increase on point doesn't change anything. Also because you can save from others, so not bad. Also the Stegodons SC that are quite important, so also this one not bad at all because you can create a mono monster without any problem. Also the Bastillodon SC a decrease on point quite important one, and all the Stegodons ones can make quite a lot of change because saving for example from these monsters can make that you can add other units completely or even add another monster at the end, so not bad at all in my opinion. Then we have about the Stormcast Thanos that it's quite recent anyway, but there's not been changed quite a lot. Still, there's been also here quite a lot of unit that has seen a decrease on point, so not bad. Moreover, because there are some units that are also quite new, so okay, little adjustment, but I can understand. Moreover, I repeat, I'm quite light about these changes because I'm not anymore related about the Bataton, so okay, I can understand. But I continue to discuss about eventually the playtesting before to release the Bataton, maybe. Okay, anyway, not bad at all, in my opinion. As you can see, there are tons of unity in the Stormcast Thanos Bataton. Also, the Sylvanet gained a lot of things, so not bad, in my opinion. The Beast of Chaos, I quite like because the Beast of Chaos technically should be quite soon become legends and see them anyway renovated, continuous and so on. I continue to think that maybe this sort of squatting, okay, even the squats has come back with the legacy of Autumn, but really, I hope that there will be a release of something that it's not Beast of Chaos, it will be renamed in another name, but a new gamma about the models because it's a pity if this faction will disappear, so I still hoping. Anyway, also this one are much more playable. Also the Bedocon see a lot of decrease on point in a lot of unit. The Shipolo since instead see a lot of unit also increase on point, so it's a bit strange, but Okay, I think that it's not bad. Add slash also this ones tons of unit that decrease on point and also of quite a good amount, some, so not bad. Also the Magotino on Argol decrease on point on a lot of unit. Also the Skaven that are new, so maybe this has to be adjusted even more, but not bad. Okay, I perfectly understand these ones, sincerely. And I think that it can be interesting. About the Slate to Darkness, this I admit that to be a new button, they made quite a lot of intriguing things adjusted. Okay, they corrected some of the basic here, but it's all understandable in my opinion, so it's not bad. Then we go about the fresh course that see tons of unit that see a decrease on point, and I want to make you notice one thing about Nagash. This I see a decrease on point, but usually Nagash it's priced the same for all the armies written about the death. We see that it's not such here, so it's really quite important. Anyway, tons of this decrease on point make that really you can plane even have space for another unit eventually, so quite appreciate. Then a taunt that see quite a lot of the increase on point. Other than the cinch ones, these are maybe the only ones that see so many units that has seen a little increase on point. So okay, but then a taunt, okay, sincerely, you take note because you can't do anything else. But okay. Then about the Osteoboripus, here I'm quite curious. I had to admit that I see often the unit, the roster that I played, having Catacross and the Carlos de Frades. So I perfectly justify that scene and case point about such unit. Also for Nagash, the same. As I said, here you can see that Nagash see a change of point because we see that now here it costs 100 point. If you go to see about the night count about Nagash, here we can find that Nagash costs 880 points. About the here the fish the course we seen 840. So it's really quite nice this change point based on the armies that it's going to be used. So okay, sincerely I would have preferred anyway the Carlos of Rider mean the same amount of points, but change more about the Catacross and Nagas, sincerely, because it would have been better. The Atlantic Court, sincerely, it's a pity that has been increased to point, but okay, understandable, it's not a problem. And I quite like about the Mortis and Bone Shaper because with this new version, it's not so useful as before, so even it be more decrease on point, I think that it would be nice. And the Surreaper, it's nice now. Anyway, it's becoming more and more like the old times, so that it continue to fall about points. Not bad. I love the decrease on point about the God Sylvester because I like to play them, so I compensate without any problem about the Chaos of Riders eventually, and I can even gain. And the Necropolis Stalkers, it's a unit that I love, so see a decrease on point means that I'm more free to play with it, so perfect. Nice. About the Super Games, also here, tons of units see a decrease on point. See if you have Olga 40 points, it's crazy. Okay. Also, Laukavai see a decrease on point of 50 points. The Raducar the Beast. So a lot of units seen a lot of decrease on point. Finally, the White King see a decrease on point that it was due. Also for the one that it's the White King on Skaventide. So Sicily, it's much more understandable because they are not so great, and now it's much better because I can add them and gain the bonus and save the points that they occupied to take something else that could be an upgrade of reinforcement of some units or some new units completely. So nice in my opinion because there is quite a lot of things that are useful. The Bospita Sanctuary has not seen any new points, but soon we see is about the new Batoto, so maybe we'll be seeing something intriguing next. The Gluespite Gits, also here decrease on point, and okay, soon there will be also the Batoton about this one, so we'll see how it will be. The Iron Jaws, also this one see quite decrease on point for a lot of the charters, so okay. The Cool Boys, As you can see, Torso unit has seen a little adjustment, decrease on points. So, okay, sincerely you take note. There's also Behemoth that see a decrease on point about the Mancrash Gargant and the Mancrash Mob. Not bad. Then we see about the Regiment Renown. Also here we can find decrease on point on some units, and it's not so common to see, so not bad. Then we can find about also here. The only thing that has been changed is the Savage or Cinderfall that see a crazy amount of points increasing, so 40 points is quite a lot. Okay, but maybe it's to balance. I have not yet fight against them, so I can't say for sure if it's due or not. Also, in the case of point for the Summer King's entourage, that I quite appreciate such changes, sincerely. And the Summer Moon Chore, okay. Also, the Odo Ghost Laws, I see the case of point. And then we can find about the warhammer legends. And here we can find again something that is related about the fish court that see a change of point. So again, the Krigast Courtier is the decrease on point. I don't know which one of the players play still the Krigast Courtier, because even before it was useless because that's been introduced the executioner. So okay, but I think that it can be decreased even more. But it's not bad, sincerely. And so as you can see, there is quite useful. And remember that legends are units that you can still use, but not in official matches. Still, they are nice. So let's start to see about the crews. Remember that they are quite stable. The main part that has been changed are related about the factions rules or about the general handbook ones. So it's really quite nice that the main rules are the same. So we had the addenda that remain the same, the rata that remain the same, and about the fact we had for the chorus a single new one that is about, is it mandatory for players to set up a faction terrain feature if one is included on the roster during the deployment phase? And say no. A player can choose not to use the deploy faction terrain ability. However, if both players choose to set up a faction terrain feature, the player who begins deployment must set up their terrain feature first. Here, it's not so obvious as you can think, because technically, if you put something in your roster, it's something that you must deploy. Here, you can choose instead for this, so it can be nice with certain battlefields, certain missions, and so it's not so bad as option. So as you can see, it's this one, the only one about the chorus that has been changed, and quite nice in my opinion. So it's something that testimony how this game is stable, really. Now let's move on the advanced rules. About the end we can see that are the same here. And instead about the rat we can find something that has been changed. For example, about the command, the shooting, the phase command. So change the covering fire declare and effect to declare pick a friendly unit that did not use a run ability this turn and is not in combat to use this ability. Then pick the closest enemy unit to that unit that can be picked as target of shooting attack to be the target. Effect resolve shooting attack for the unit using this ability against the target. You must subtract 1 from the hit rolls for those attacks. So, okay, little changes, little updated parts, so not so much eventually. And about the FAQ for these advanced rules, we can find that most of them are still the same. We can find simple ones. So, can a unit placed on a faction terrain feature be picked as the target of enemy abilities as opposed to the target of attacks? For example, if I were to pick a Shrine Luminor as target of the Yamashita Engine's Power Unleashed ability, could I pick the hero placed on the Shrine Luminor as target of that ability? Yes. And I perfectly understand. I think that it's okay, I think, so not something problematic, but still better to avoid any misunderstanding. As you can see, you have to move and the vast route are ended. So we have to move to the path to Ascension, path to glory with Ascension. That it's the one that we have just seen in the summary. So that now replace it must have a point value of 300 or less with it must have a point value of 350 or less. So little things that has been changed sometimes, but okay. Also the glossary we had, the addenda that it's the same, and if you see about the RAT, we can find that has been made change about the definition of contesting too. Contesting. Models contest objective within their combat range, 3 inch, when determining objective control. The same unit cannot contest more than one objective at the same time. The player must pick one if more than one is within range. It's simple, clarifying, because it's the same as it was before. Change the definition of counter charge to counter charge command, 2 command points, charge in enemy charge phase, command 5.0. So, example, remove the following text from strike last. If both players have unit with strike last, the alternative fighting with those unit all other attribute unit as foot starting with the active player. So, really, little changes that are simply clarifying about these ones. Match the play first blood is still the same, okay. Then about the spearhead Farjid, we've seen the change that we've seen the summary about. So again, something that is useful once that you go to see if you're interested about. And okay, sincerely, so not too many about spearhead. I move on because I'm not interested. And then we have about the General Handbook 24-25, and here we see a bit more changes. And also here, if you go to see about the RAT, for example, the first one, it's about the change of the referral. So the new one lists all the 2024-25 season rules has had important updates. So see page 2 that we yet treated of the document for the changes, but it say where you go to see these changes. So okay, and it related about the effect of the priority target. So okay, Sicily has been changed the part that it's one of the main ones. So it could be a sort of handbook 2025 one. It's really all the other things are the same. You have really to move to the faction packs to see the changes for the Bladeocorn, that you can see also the city of Sigmar and so on. So you have to see if there is something that it's worth for you. For example, the Freshitter Kurz, we have seen the article describing the additional part. So here we have address loyal subject. So pick a friendly Freshitter Kurz hero to use this ability in your hero phase once per turn. So roll a dice for each other friendly Freshitter Kurz unit wholly within 12 inch of that hero. For each 5+, give 1 numbered points to the hero. Simple one, perfect one. I like this one. Yes, so okay. Also the part about the Grandiose Gourmet that we've seen that it was said that it make you gain. Simply it had added that when you roll the on 3+, when you use the effect Delusion on Justice Served, you gain 1 numbered points for sentence sure other than the part of pick the ability. So it's as I said, something that we have seen, and really you have to follow which one you are needing for the changes on. The most part of this we have seen them, okay, so not bad at all in my opinion, because some things as options. So for example, here we had the part about the night count with the discorporate that change the way that you use them. So okay, as you see, all these has seen little changes about. And about the Gods Harvest, here we have the change about the Bone Harvest. So it's a little change, but it's important because we move from being each time an enemy model in combat with this unit is slain, with each time an enemy model from a unit in combat with this model is slain. It's different because it means that it's not the model in combat with this unit. So it can be a unit that is in combat with also other units, and those models are slain, even if they are not died in combat with this model. So it's really quite nice, I think. Okay, so as you can see, there are little things maybe, but they are to see if you're interested about. Also this one about here again, the part that we have seen, so the coherency, all things that we have seen before, or that it was a sort of summary about. You have to see if there is something. And about the faction packs, we can find also here the frequently asked question here. For example, when Elania and Delator use the Total Eclipse ability, does your opponent need to spend an additional command point for the first command used by any unit for the first command point used by each unit? The first command used by any unit. So there are little something that they avoid misunderstanding with the wording of the the part. So also here, other digital downloads. We had the Rata for the Battleton, Beast of Chaos, and so on. But we had also here for the Army of Renown, the Ruin Move, for example, that make the rename Ghostbuster change with the ability Tramping Charger. Okay, it's some little changes sometimes. And also about the Battletomes, we can find, for example, here, the change that has been brought. The Lost Creek becoming Wizard 2, the Plague Priest on make the influence of 13-inch, and the same for the Screaming Bell, are the things that we've seen before, and they are related about the change of the season. So not something problematic and so on. And you have to see if there is something that you really need. Also, the button Slate to Darkness has not seen any difference new. About the button of some Castellanos, again, the Beyond Script bone that we've seen before, so it's something more detailed about. But here we have a fact new about the Summon Castellanos. So can I use the Ruination Chamber ability to react to enemy abilities that target a friendly unit with that ability if that ability takes place outside of the regular turn sequence, for example, the deployment phase ability? See, yes. So this explains something, and really, okay, there are 72 pages here, but the most part of these are points. The most part of these are the part about the points, that can be the points of the all the battles available, and about the legends and the renown, okay, the army of renown, the regiment of renown. But sincerely, it's not a problem, because anyway, there are not so many. When they make the update, you can understand what has been changed, what has been changed, and if there is something that make you know, okay, there is the summary that it's quite intriguing, because first say, okay, we changed this. When you go to see, you know what has been changed. I quite like these things, because you know for sure where to change, where to see the changes. So nice. I really like how it has been done, even if they seem to be even more pages than the one for Warhammer 40k, for example. These are more useful. They can be really read easier. So I quite like in such a way. And anyway, they contain also, I repeat, the points. So the most part of them are points. So nice. And what do you think about? There are some rules that you like. Are you interested in the new changes about the Journal Handbook 24-25 for this new season? Because sincerely, I quite like. I find this really quite intriguing part, and much better than before, because I can for sure choose things that I can quite like them. So, what do you think about? Do you prefer the part about the Spearhead? Do you like the part about Age of Sigmar? There is something that completely changed and devastated you, that completely ruined your way to make the rooster, because you are one of the few that play only the real increase on point parts. I'm quite curious about, because it can be really quite interesting to share with. So, tell me. Anyway, from that mode, it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So I hope to see you again to the next time.